At the turn of the last century, in the northern part of the Midwestern United States of America, you could throw a stick in any forest and hit a logging camp. Viewers are discouraged from throwing sticks in any situation. Loggers spent long, tedious hours at work during the daylight hours. But when the workday came to a close, they gathered around campfires to share a meal and partake in the ancient art of telling tall tales. Now, their stories weren't about men, or women, or children. No, humans only made brief appearances in these campfire chronicles. The men gathered to spin narratives of what were called fearsome critters. Lumberjacks, regularly traveling between camps, would stop and swap stories, and eventually, well, we know what happens to stories. Stories grow big. Now, these particular fables of fearsome critters were usually the products of exaggeration mixed in with a little pure imagination. They were just a way to either jokingly or earnestly explain the unexplainable. For example, watch out for the hide-behind, lest you get snatched into the woods and never seen again. And keep your eye out for the squonk, an animal so ugly its sole purpose in life is wandering around the woods and crying about its unfortunate experience. But you know, one story might not have been such a tall tale after all, and it has withstood the test of time. So, there must be something to it, right? The most culturally penetrative and perhaps the fiercest of the fearsome critters. The great horned rabbit, the jackalope. The legend of the horned rabbit is certainly nothing new, not even by 21st century standards. Lepus cornutus, or horned hare, was a regular entry into scientific and zoological texts in the 16th, 17th, and 18th centuries, and was widely regarded, while increasingly rare, as a real living animal that could be found in the wild. Various versions of horned rabbits appear in Germanic, Slavic, Aztec, Huichol, and Middle Eastern lore. It's even said that a great horned rabbit was gifted to Alexander the Great at the height of his power. But the American jackalope many of us think of was created in Douglas, Wyoming, by two brothers and taxidermists. In 1930, after coming home from a rather successful rabbit hunt, one of the Herrick brothers tossed a rabbit carcass down in the shed right next to a pair of deer antlers. The little light bulb above his head lit up and he set to work. From the hands of a great man and skilled taxidermist, the first jackalope was sold for $10 and was displayed at the Levante Hotel. And wouldn't you know, it was stolen from there within the year. Such was its immediate appeal to the people of Douglas. Yes, sir, the city of Douglas went hog wild for jackalopes. It became a symbol of the town, and even to this day, you can march down to the Chamber of Commerce and purchase a jackalope hunting license for the season. The season is June 31st, just the one day, and an IQ of greater than 50, but no more than 72, is required to obtain the license. Now I know what you're thinking. You just told me the whole story. It can't be real. The backstory is plain as day. Well, friend, the rich lore of the jackalope might have come a little after its quote-unquote creation. But like we said earlier, there's got to be some truth to accounts that stick. We don't know much, but we do know this. The jackalope is, indeed, a fearsome critter, and you sure don't want to get on the wrong side of their antlers. They are prodigious lovers, but they only mate during lightning strikes. So keep those eyes open. If you ever find yourself out in the woods singing a campfire tune, you may hear a jackalope imitating human voices and singing along. They have a rich, high tenor. We do not advise you to attempt to catch one, but if you want to try, the best bait is whiskey. Jackalopes prefer whiskey. Neat. And be sure to wear your stovepipes on your legs, lest you get gored. From its humble beginnings as a logging legend to its physical manifestation in Douglas, Wyoming, the jackalope and its ilk have achieved almost total cultural recognition. While we may be able to trace this back to an origin, it's probably always best to keep an eye out while you're in the woods. Maybe keep your stovepipes and whiskey at hand, and be sure you've procured your hunting license, lest you be caught unawares when the most fearsome of the fearsome critters makes its way into your camp.